There is reportedly bubbling paranoia among WWE talent following Vince McMahon's return to the company. We've got details on that, plus Big E shares an injury update after his 1 year scans on his broken neck injury. Trish Stratus reveals she went into WrestleMania 39 with a major injury. We've got details on that, plus Rhea Ripley says she might convince Buddy Matthews to leave AEW and rejoin WWE. We've got an update on the Backlash ticket sales, and could there be a gimmick change for Von Wagner in NXT? Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of World Wrestling Entertainment. And don't worry, an AEW news video is coming later today. Of course, it is Wednesday. Another episode of AEW Dynamite will be airing on TBS. So we are going to have an AEW news video later on this evening. But first, I wanted to talk about a really fascinating story when it comes to who else but Vince McMahon in WWE and the bubbling paranoia backstage among talent since he has returned. Now, when Paul Triple H Levesque took over WWE Creative back in July of last year, he rehired many former WWE superstars who had previously left the company. Many of those returns have yet to find firm footing, shall we say, on the main roster, while some have been featured in key roles over the past few months. With Vince McMahon, though, now back in power in the company, and with the recent acquisition by Endeavor, many believe that it's only a matter of time before we start seeing more cuts, talent releases, employee firings, etc. WWE CEO Nick Khan previously mentioned that WWE would be going hard on cutting costs following the merger, though that was mostly in reference to office staff, but talent in the company is also getting concerned. Per PW Insider Elite, there has reportedly been slight, quote, bubbling paranoia among talents in the past few weeks, mainly talents that Triple H brought back to the company last year who aren't currently in any major mix or getting pushes on television. The talent is fearful that since Vince has returned, they are being relegated to the undercard and could be some of the first out if and when it comes to time for more releases from the company. Sources in WWE Creative told PW Insider there has been no such edicts, but that hasn't stopped talents from being concerned because, of course, we have heard so many different things be said in this timeline of Vince's return. He's only coming back to sell the company. He's not involved in creative. While he's involved in the top line of creative, while he's involved in the top line of creative, but he's having conversations with Triple H. Wow, he's running backstage during Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania 39. He hasn't been there since, but you can understand why some talent might be quite concerned, shall we say. The old feeling of talents, quote, walking on eggshells has slowly picked back up since McMahon's return to the fold as well. So what do you think? Do you think the talent has a right to be paranoid? Do you think they're right to be concerned? And are you expecting releases and cuts to come to the talent roster in the future, namely once the merger between the WWE and UFC is complete under the Endeavor umbrella? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Now, we have a bit of an update when it comes to Big E and his recovery from a broken neck. Former WWE champion Big E has provided an update on his neck injury following his important 1 year scans. Big E has been out of action since suffering a broken neck on the March 11, 2022 edition of Friday Night SmackDown on Fox. Throughout his recovery, Big E pointed to his April 2023 scans as important indicators for his future, 1 year on from the original injury. Speaking on the Battleground podcast, Big E explained that he feels great and isn't experiencing any function or pain issues, noting that he will soon speak with doctors about his next step. The popular star said, quote, "It's just a complicated fracture. I broke my C1 and C2 in 2 places. A Jefferson fracture is what it's called. It just takes a little more time to heal. We did the 1 year scans after WrestleMania. It was a little later because of WrestleMania. We need to sit down with the doctors at some point and figure out what the next step is. From my perspective, I feel great. I have no function issues, no pain issues. I've been in the gym since 2 weeks after I broke my neck. I'm feeling great. Obviously, your neck has to be in a certain condition to deal with the rigors of being in the ring on a nightly basis. Now, when it comes to what he's doing outside of the ring, he has been doing some different roles when it comes to WWE. During his recovery time, the popular star has served in a number of non-wrestling roles, including helping WWE's recruitment team during tryouts. The USFL's Michigan Panthers have now named Big E as their official MC for all Panthers games for this home season. A discussion discussing the announcement of Fox Sports, Big E said, quote, "I'm excited to join forces with the USFL and the Panthers as the team returns to Michigan. Detroit has some of the best fans in the world, and I look forward to connecting with them at Ford Field, the host of SummerSlam this August." As I mentioned, Big E has recently had his 1-year scans, but this new role would indicate that maybe he's not going to be returning to the ring anytime soon. But here's hoping, fingers crossed, here's hoping that Big E gets some positive news and eventually can return to the ring. If it's a full-time thing, I don't know. It might have to be a situation a bit like Edge or Saraya where they take it steady over time to build back up to really wrestling on a more frequent basis. Or maybe, and it certainly seems like he's dealing with this reality that Big E may never wrestle again. But here's hoping that's not the case. Pretty much everyone we've seen, bar a few people, have been able to come back, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, Trish Stratus, she's a heel once again in WWE, but she's now revealed she actually worked through an injury at WrestleMania 39. At WrestleMania 39, Trish Stratus teamed with Becky Lynch and Lita to defeat Damage Control. Unbeknownst to most, Stratus actually wrestled that match with a partially torn hamstring, as she revealed on the April 19 episode of Busted Open Radio. She said, quote, "I had a few obstacles. I had a partially torn hamstring, by the way. Nobody knew about that," she said. "It was just like WrestleMania, let's just go," she said. "This time I had this injury, so I was a little unsure going in, but man, there's something about feeling at home. It's just like riding a bike. As you guys know, when we get back in there, your body's like, I got this, just do your thing. And it just flows. I've kept my health and fitness up, and that always plays into it as well. I am good in those moments, right? I work well under pressure. I always feel like I have to prove myself every time I go out there. So that was like a big driving force for me for that evening, was to go out there, prove that I belong in this match, that I belong with these other talented women, and that I still belong here, period." Now, Trish Stratus was successful that night and would go on to team with Becky Lynch on the April 10 episode of Monday Night Raw, losing the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships for Becky Lynch and Lita before turning heel on Becky Lynch. She later addressed her actions on this week's episode of Raw and revealed that not only that she attacked Becky Lynch because she felt she wasn't recognized as the greatest of all time, but also she attacked her fellow Hall of Famer Lita as well. Could this lead to a future match between the two Hall of Famers one more time inside of a WWE ring? Now, could Rhea Ripley convince her real-life partner, Buddy Matthews, to rejoin WWE? Well, Ripley, if you didn't know, is in a relationship with Buddy Matthews, who is formerly known as Buddy Murphy, or just Murphy, during his time in WWE before he joined All Elite Wrestling. Matthews is 1/3 of the current AEW World Trios champions, along with fellow former WWE star Malachi Black and Brody King. In a new interview with Jerry Royf, I believe that's how you say it. Apologies, Jerry, if I've said that wrong. Ripley was asked about whether she would convince Matthews to return to WWE one day. She replied, quote, maybe, I don't know. I'm a very convincing girl. I normally get what I want. So it might happen, you never know. Ripley did, however, acknowledge that she's happy with her current on-screen relationship with Dominic Mysterio, adding, quote, "Right now, I'm happy with my Dom. I'm happy going out there with him, Finn, and Damien." There was a pretty funny scene, of course, at the recent Hall of Fame ceremony where the seating arrangement had Dominic sat on one side of Ripley and Matthews was on the other side. She concluded by saying, "You never know what the future holds. It might happen." Of course, it's no secret that at least a couple of AEW stars have ties with WWE, whether it be previous time there and or a real-life partner currently there. They had to be requested to be released by AEW last year, but none of them were granted besides William Regal, which was obviously a different situation with him being a non-wrestler. It seems like Ripley's first challenger for the SmackDown Women's Championship, likely at Backlash in Puerto Rico on May 6th, will be Malachi Black's real-life wife, Zelina Vega. So that's an interesting situation in the sense you have significant others of two AEW teammates that are going against each other in WWE. That's pretty interesting, isn't it? Speaking of Backlash, we've got an update on the ticket sales for the premium live event, and as you would expect, pretty good. Backlash will emanate from the Coliseo de Puerto Rico Jose Miguel Agrelot on May 6th. The Puerto Rico show is being hyped as WWE's next major international event. Tickets for Backlash and the edition of SmackDown that will also take place in Puerto Rico went on sale at the end of March. Per WrestleTix, the show is now sold out. A number of upcoming WWE shows have been doing really well in terms of ticket sales, with the April 24 edition of Raw and an upcoming house show in Belfast, Northern Ireland also selling out as well, with Scott Fisherman revealing that WWE won't be giving complimentary tickets out at a number of upcoming shows. WrestleTix provided provided an update on ticket sales for the mentioned events. WWE Raw, that being in Chicago, 100% sold out. SmackDown at Corpus Christi, Texas, 381 tickets available, 94.7% of tickets have been sold. Belfast, as I mentioned, in Northern Ireland, 100% sold out. Paris, France, 99% tickets sold, 11,000 tickets. Raw at Fort Worth, Texas, there's only 487 available tickets. That's a 95.3% rate of tickets being sold. San Juan, Puerto Rico, only single seats left. Backlash is sold out. Raw in Hershey, Pennsylvania, there's only 77 available tickets. It's 99.1% sold. Raw in Savannah, Georgia, there's currently over 1,100 available tickets. 79.9% of tickets have been sold. But basically, they're doing very, 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 very well. And as I mentioned, there's for all of those shows, there's no comps because they don't need to. They don't need to hand out complimentary tickets because they're selling that many at the moment. WWE is red hot when it comes to ticket sales at the moment. Finally, we have to see a bit of a gimmick change for Von Wagner in NXT. On the April 11 episode of NXT, Von Wagner lost a match to Ilya Dragunov, and the stipulation of that match was if Wagner lost, Mr. Stone, that being Robert Stone, would walk away from being his manager. However, on last night's April 18 episode, a follow-up seemed to suggest that stipulation might not be happening, but something else will change instead. In a clip labeled last week to suggest it was right after the Dragunov match, Wagner was shown basically groveling to Stone and begging him not to leave. In a complete contrast to how we've seen Wagner behave in the past, he said, quote, "Stone, I'm ready. Come on, man. Don't leave. I'm ready. Please, come on. I'm ready to open up. My name is Von Wagner, and I've always wanted to be in the WWE because this is in my blood. And my dad was a Beverly brother." Wagner, real name Cal Bloom, is the son of Wayne Bloom, who wrestled as Bo Beverly of the Beverly Brothers tag team alongside Mike Enos, known as Blake Beverly. Ever since the start of NXT 2.0 in late 2021, Wagner has been presented as a monster heel. So to see this side of him in that clip was definitely a contrast to what we're used to. It seems Stone was accepting of Wagner's proposition, and the two will remain together for now, just with a different side of Wagner's character. What exactly that will be isn't clear yet, but it's the first time it's actually been mentioned that he's the son of Bo Beverly, so perhaps that'll be played a lot more into it. Of course, Wagner isn't the only name in NXT has a wrestling bloodline, the most notable being Bron Breakker, who's the son of Rick Steiner, the nephew of Scott Steiner, but also others like Brooks Jensen, who's the son of Bull Buchanan, William Regal's son Charlie Dempsey, and the Rock's daughter Ava. Wagner was being touted as a potential future WWE main event star at one point, but he hasn't really hit the heights of the main event scene in NXT just yet. That could be easily put down to the fact he was just presented as a generic big guy, so it looks like he might have maybe a bit more of a chance to try something now that will connect with the fans a bit more. Mr. Stone has also picked up something of a new role recently, as he's been on commentary for the last two episodes of NXT Level Up alongside Blake Howard and Byron Saxton. So what could Von Wagner's new gimmick be? Is he going to transition into a version of a Beverly brother? Let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section below as well. But there you go, guys, another WWE update for you. As I mentioned, the AEW news video is going to be coming out later today, so if you don't want to miss that, be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner, click that notification bell. You'll be notified every single time a new video goes up or we go live. Be sure to smash the like on the like button. Remember, you can join the WN365 roster by clicking that join button, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.